I would like to say, first of all, good evening, a very good evening to all of my many friends, also to my many enemies. This is a very short episode of Roosevelt Sounds Off, and I wanted to just come on here because I found a video this evening on Facebook, and it's like a small documentary about Charles McKenzie and Martin G. Johnson, also known as the Crime Chaser. And these two young men have achieved some fame, all because last week they broke the story of the Chicago police putting a bait truck in the Englewood community. For many of y'all who don't know what a bait truck is, a bait truck is pretty much a truck that, you know, the police, when they conduct a sting, they fill up with boxes of shoes and maybe electronics or whatever, and they put it like in a poor area. And as soon as someone, they sit back and watch it, and as soon as somebody goes over and touches this truck or tries to go on it to steal something off of it, police and federal agents just come out of nowhere. But, you know, because of them, the Chicago police and federal agents got exposed for and they call it a sting, but everybody in the hood is calling it a setup, and I really believe that it's the latter, not the beginning, okay? And they brought this to light, you know, to letting the whole community know not to come near this bait truck. And it's a documentary about this bait truck, and even, you know, a little bit of the Chicago police response and everything about it, because this has received some nationwide attention. And I think that we should be against any kind of sting or any kind of like you know, setup or undercover sting that police want to do. Anytime we see an undercover sting, I don't care if it's like a bait truck or some kind of a prostitution sting, whatever it is, if you notice it's a sting, I think that the police need to be put on blast every single time. Yes. So I found this little documentary on Facebook, and I would like to share it with all of you, my YouTube audience. And I commend Charles McKenzie, who's an activist here in the city of Chicago, as well as Martin G. Johnson, the Crime Chaser, two young men who I know very personally, because, you know, we've all marched together, even in protest here in the city of Chicago. And as well, you know, anytime we've seen news like this, we've been some of the first to break it on social media. Charles and Martin, they were the first two to break it over Facebook, and I was like one of the first or second to break it on YouTube, you know. So, you know, we've all worked together doing, you know, different things on many different platforms. But in the end, you know, I just have to say that the Chicago police should not be causing crime. They should be solving crime. And they want to use the excuse a couple of weekends ago about 60 or 70 murders, or not murders, should I say, shootings taking place in the city of Chicago. But yeah, maybe there's crime. But as far as stealing from trucks go, no, it's not that kind of crime. And Chicago police don't need to be setting poor black people up, knowing that they don't have anything else, and just putting temptation in their way. So with all of that being said, I'm about to show you all the small documentary about Charles McKenzie and Martin G. Johnson, the Crime Chaser, and talk about this, I guess, sting, so-called sting, also known as a setup, the Chicago Police Department decided to do. I mean, us as black people, I think that we need to save ourselves, because we can't hardly trust each other. And we definitely, after this, cannot trust the Chicago Police Department. So that being said, I'm going to say thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the video, and if anybody like this video, be sure to give me a big thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it, as well as hit the subscribe button, as well as the bell icon. This way, anytime I put on a new video or go live, you all will automatically be notified. Hope to see everybody in the next video. Till next time, peace and blessings to all. Stay tuned for the documentary. Peace.
Police across the country routinely use bait traps to try to catch thieves in the act. They set up a tempting bike or a car, and then they watch. But in Chicago last week, the tactic backfired.
So y'all see this? Listen, this is live, uncut, unedited. bait truck.
Charles McKenzie was born and raised in Inglewood in southwest Chicago. So when he saw an unmarked 18-wheeler being parked and reparked around his neighborhood, he knew something was up.
They sent people up with this truck right there.
So this is where you were when you were taking the video with your phone, right?
Yes.
So you're seeing, what are you seeing?
As I pulled up and approached the situation, I saw the officer putting the young man in the car, you know, and I was standing right here, and then I got closer to right here to see what everything was going on. They come
Y'all parked an empty Nike truck with Nike boxes in the ghetto.
What Charles caught on video was a new program the police had nicknamed Operation Trailer Trap. Police from Norfolk Southern Railways loaded the truck with Nike Air Force One sneakers and Christian Louboutin shoes. 3 people were arrested for theft in what police call a sting, but neighbors call a setup. Chicago PD said they were only brought in to make arrests, and the charges have since been dropped.
Hey, you don't think that's some bullshit on me?
We always suspect that the police stage crime in our area, but we never able to prove it or document it on film. But this particular time, I knew I got it. Live, uncut. Uncut, people, I got it. Y'all know this script. In the black community, we're over police, and we have the most crime. So you would think if we have the most police in our community, we should have less crime. But that's not the case. All them little young boys gonna jump on this boy. They're gonna be in trouble.
The timing of Operation Trailer Trap came right after a weekend in which more than 70 people were shot, and at least 12 people died.
So it's up to me and my command staff to try and repair those relationships in the community. And we're making progress.
Police have said that they need the community's help to solve those crimes. But the bait trucks seem to have hurt police's goal to gain the community's trust.
Since the people have seen bait trucks,
Right.
What do you think that's done just around the neighborhood?
Oh, man, the antennas have went up like, hey, we can't trust the cops. We can't trust them. Why? Because the cops preach transparency, but you practice something else. In the city of Chicago, we have an 83% murder rate that's unsolved. That same energy could have been used into finding the criminals, the murderers.
Norfolk Southern says the bait truck operation was aimed at catching people who've been stealing cargo, including guns and ammunition, from a nearby rail yard.
But my whole thing is, if these crimes are happening on your property, why are you bringing it into our community? If you gonna run a sting, be on the freight yard, in y'all yard, and on the railroad tracks, and wait on them. They're gonna come. When you pull up a truck in front of an impoverished community, and they see that it's an opportunity, come on, who's not gonna take it? These people are in survival mode.
That's crazy. Yeah, they're crazy. They trying to set us up in our neighborhood. Yeah, that's what they do, man.
The videos that were posted online prompted so much outrage that Norfolk Southern eventually apologized, saying that they don't plan to use that method in the future.
The railroad police have apologized, and they said that they regret that they made people feel that they couldn't trust police.
Well, let me say this to the railroad, and you can take this message back to them. Are you sorry because you got caught? Or are you really sorry that you should have never done it?
They left a bait truck